of intention and desire. Desire is the mechanics of creation. Let me read to you something from an ancient text about this law of intention and desire. And this is from the Hymn of Creation in the Rig Veda, one of the most ancient texts known to the human mind. It says, "In the beginning there was desire, which was the first seed of mind. Sages, having meditated in their hearts, have discovered by their wisdom the connection of the existent with the non-existent." So desire is the connection between the existent and the non-existent. And yet, of course, we have been influenced by various people throughout our lives who have said desire is a bad thing. Well, it's not bad at all. It's the mechanics of creation. Desire is pure potentiality, seeking manifestation. If there was no desire, this would be a universe only of possibility. Eternal possibility, but no manifestation. And I said earlier that desire, karma, and memory are linked. Therefore, the very fact that you have a desire means that you were meant to fulfill it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be part of your karmic software. So what's the law of desire and intention? The law of desire and intention says that inherent in every intention and desire is the mechanics of its fulfillment. Desire in the field of pure potentiality has that infinite organizing power, infinite correlation. And when we introduce an intention in the field of pure potentiality, in the fertile ground of pure potentiality, we put this infinite organizing power to work for us. Intent is a powerful force, more powerful than gravity, more powerful than time, more powerful than electricity or magnetism, because it sets into process all those things. But we must know how to put that law into effect. The way desire works is, if it comes from the level of pure being, if it comes from the level of pure potentiality, from the level of pure silence, you slip into the silence, you introduce the desire in the field of that silence, you remain self-referral, which means your ego is not the internal reference point, and then you let the universe handle the details. That's how it happens when you do it correctly. And other people have studied this. People have called this physiological intelligence. The other day I was reading a book, and you probably may have heard of this, The Perennial Philosophy by Aldous Huxley. And Huxley talks about physiological intelligence and says something that, if you really think about this, you will become so confident in the fact that in the desire itself is the mechanics of creation. In the desire itself is the whole process, the whole process through which everything gets orchestrated. You've heard of synchronicity, I'm sure, or meaningful coincidence. Synchronicity is when a number of things happen simultaneously in order to fulfill your intention. Meaningful coincidence, many incidents all happening at the same time in order to fulfill this little intent that you had. Intention and attention are the two qualities inherent in that field of consciousness, the cosmic computer. Attention is energy, intention is information. And what's the world made up of? Energy and information. So if you were to really become aware of your qualities of consciousness, attention and intention, you would be laying the groundwork to fulfill all your desires. We apply this law of intention and desire by first making a list of all our desires, then taking that list of desires and surrendering it to the womb of creation, reminding ourselves to practice present moment awareness, this moment as it should be. So I was going to come to that quote of Aldous Huxley, and I'd like to read it to you, because what it says is, Aldous Huxley gives a very clear example of physiological intelligence that is present and has infinite organizing power. That physiological intelligence can do anything for us. So I'm just looking at that quote, and what he said was, just look at an example, for example, the example of a parrot that's learning to imitate human sounds. How does it do that? How does a parrot learn to imitate human sounds? Some little intention in this little brain that is the size of a pea, and then it sets into motion an infinity of space-time events so that it can imitate a human voice that requires vocal cords, tongue, teeth, a cerebral cortex, a neocortex. How does that happen? Just through intent. A parrot with a pea-sized brain can do that. We are doing that all the time. When we walk from here to there, do you know the complexity of that? That if you were to be aware of every little muscle that has to relax, that has to contract, you could never do it. It would boggle the mind of a neuroscientist to do it. Every physiological function that you can think of, to metabolize one molecule of sugar by a cell requires infinite organizing power. A cell has to immediately send orders to the pancreas to start secreting insulin, send orders also to the pancreas to start secreting glucagon, to the brain to start secreting growth hormone. A whole symphony has to be orchestrated. But the cell is a conscious entity, and if your body's cells can do it, why can't you? Why can't you? You can, because the totality that is you is the conglomeration, the totality of all these very intelligent cells that already know how to fulfill their desires. And the world out there is our extended body. And if you are familiar with the quantum mechanical framework that I've talked about so many times, then you'll realize that there aren't any well-defined edges to our body. We are so inseparably connected with the patterns of intelligence in the cosmos. And when we let our intention there, then we let that cosmic mind orchestrate the infinity of space-time events to bring about the outcome that we intended.